And oh, I wanna grow up to be Christopher Wright.
About the time we were recording our first EP, we were looking for a name.
And oh, I wanna grow up to be Christopher Wright.
I had recently written a song called The Daredevil Christopher Wright.
Don't you know that everyone have hopes that they'll see him die tonight?
We jumped in Lake Michigan a couple weeks ago in Sheboygan.
Don't you know that everyone have hopes that they'll see him die tonight?
That's about as exciting as it gets most of the time.
It's the life of Christopher Wright.
Jason and I are brothers, and we grew up in a very musical family. You know, folks who grew up in the folk movement and all that kind of thing, and have done so. It was kind of a constant presence in our household. And throughout high school, I was writing songs, and Jason as well. And
not really. I wrote like 2 songs.
Jason wrote 2 songs. That's writing songs, you know what? We both ended up going to school at Eau Claire for music with a vocal emphasis. But in school, I always kind of had one foot out the door, more or less, just because my passion was still with the music I was writing and rock and roll or whatever, you know. So, but I really appreciated all the stuff that I learned through. I mean, you learned classical voice and so forth, and I don't know. I think a mix of all that stuff has been influential in terms of arranging and doing a lot of the harmony work we do and all that kind of thing. So.
And I've got plans to be a playwright.
We take it song by song. We don't like, well, this is what we do as a band, and so, you know, put that guitar on this and do it, because, I don't know. John writes in so many different ways. I feel like he's really been growing a lot as a songwriter.
It's very sweet of you to say, Jesse.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Well, actually, I think we do think along the same lines a lot musically, at least historically. But so that's nice to have that kind of like sort of grounding with each other. And then Jesse, it's awesome to have Jesse because he like knows way more rock music than I do, for sure. And so he's really like influential and like taking these songs that like you know, music school kids wrote, you know, who are like focused on like, oh, what's the harmony and what's the melody, and then like adding some interesting stuff to it, you know. That's kind of how I see it.
Music school kids don't learn interest in school, apparently.
We went to school all in the Eau Claire area, and so kind of as a band, we from Eau Claire.
There's definitely something encouraging about living in Eau Claire, you know, whether it's like the presence of the music school and always having like those kind of kids around, or if it's been just seeing the bands in town and just like what they've done since they've left or what they're doing now. It's, I don't know, it's accessible, yet it's like it's doing good things at the same time.
Yeah, I think the community is really supportive and small enough that you can really make an impact, you know. So like with Ambledown Records, the work they're doing and a lot of the bands that are on that label, kind of we all are just coming up at the same time together, you know, and so it's been really great to kind of grow with each other.
We decided to just try to do as much touring as we could after this album, because if you just make an album and then sit at home, like nothing's gonna happen, you know. We would really love to play music like full time, and I guess we're doing it right now, but you know, scraping by. So but it's been really cool, you know, playing a lot of places for the first time. And you go to new cities, it's like starting over, like everywhere, generally, unless you have like some huge press machine. So keep working, guys. You're gonna make big stars. But yeah, it's been cool. Like everywhere we've gone, even if the crowd's pretty small, you know, it's fun to have people be excited about the music, you know.
Something's wrong here.
And I think it's just doing what it's supposed to do. I mean, it's amazing the connections you make and the bands you meet and just the relationships you start and all over and seeing how small actually this community of music, traveling music can be sometimes, you know. You just like, your paths are crossing with a lot of the same people in just completely different parts of the country, you know, in this kind of weird way. That's really encouraging actually to know that there's this support group out there, you know, of people who are just doing the same thing and love the same thing you do, and yeah, it's just been encouraging that way for sure.
It's interesting because I don't think we've played the same venue twice in Milwaukee yet. So
We've played about 7 shows here, and they've never been in the same place.
So we've seen a lot of it, and I really like, there's a lot of venues that I really like, some cool vibes. Really like the Cactus Club, you know, and stuff, so.
But we're still growing to understand the place and find our place in it.
There was such a wind today that it blew his life away.